It's Aaron, the Metal Theologian. Alright, so we're going to do 2 inches of metal again tonight. And let's start the stuff off right. We've got the Chowning's Tavern root beer here, which is kind of an unusual label. The guy at the shop actually said this was like one of his favorite root beers, so I have to say I'm really curious about it. This is served in colonial Williamsburg taverns, and it claims to be a 200-year-old recipe. So yeah, we'll see. Brewed and bottled by Old Dominion Brewing Company. That sounds kind of promising. So yeah, and it has yucca in the ingredients list. Now that I'm looking at it, so. And no trans fat, so you know it's healthy. So let's bust this out and see how it is. Alright, this is a damn good root beer. First of all, you get that mouthfeel that I talk about a lot, where it sort of feels like it's filling up your whole mouth when you just take a normal sip. But it has a really complex flavor. There's a lot going on in this thing. Yeah, it's rich. There's a lot of stuff. But it's not overwhelming. This is a really good drinking root beer, too, in a way more than I expected. You can just sort of sit there and sip one of these and enjoy it without it sort of overwhelming you. Like, you can't even fucking think about anything else. Anyway, yeah, that's really good. God damn, that's really good. So, let's figure out what key we're going to. We got number 6. So, that's this one right here. I've pulled from this one before, so I've got to be kind of careful. Alright. I'm cheating, I think. Oh no, I went in here for 5 random records. I don't think we've done a 2 inches from this one. So, and I looked at it to sort of forget where everything was. So, let me check this out. I'll try and keep it reasonable. Ah, shit. I basically pulled out the Manilla Road section. I'm going to actually re-pull. Okay, we've got our Man of War here. And then we've got Manilla Road. This is all just Manilla Road records. So as much as I love Manilla Road, and I'll actually go ahead and show these off real quick. Okay, so here's a Man of War. We have Defender. This is actually the first one I got. I found this at a shop in LA and fucking fell in love with the band. It's still my favorite one. It's one of the greatest metal records ever right there. But you probably know it if you're watching this. So anyway, Into Glory Ride, Battle Hymns. It's Manilla Blade record. Then this is Mark of the Beast, which is the one that was from between the first 2 records. It was recorded then, but didn't come out until more recently. This is a really early live set on High Roller. That's a later one called Gates of Fire. And now we're at the Roadsters. So Mystification and the Deluge on Black Dragon. That one actually opened the gates. Crystal Logic on Black Dragon and Crystal Logic on Roadster. These 2 actually sound different, interestingly. This one is a much brighter mix, and this is the first one I got, so it sounded kind of weird to me. Like, I thought the production on it was really strange and really sort of tinny, and it took me a while to get into for that reason. This one has more like a straight-ahead metal production. I don't know if they did it with the mix, but it was something weird. But Manilla Road's totally one of my favorite bands. There are a few more in here, too, but like I said, I don't want to just talk about Manilla Road, so we're going to re-pull here. Actually, if I just talk about Manilla Road, that would probably be a fine video. So, I'm just trying to forget where I reached. Alright, we're going with 4, so that feels like about 2 inches. So let's see what we got this time. Shit. Alright, well, we got Loudness. It's the second Loudness record. Again, I'm not going to bother to needle drop this because you probably all heard this, but pretty cool Japanese band. Hilarious picture on the back. I don't know, Greeno's like the big like Japanese authority, and maybe you should make a video just featuring all this shit. But I'm definitely more sort of a casual fan of Japanese metal. A little bit lukewarm on Loudness. I mean, I think they're a perfectly enjoyable band, but I don't think they're like the sort of band that rips your face off. This is the first one. This is the Birthday Eve. Hey, don't drink all that. Seriously, give me that.
It's good.
Jesus. All right. God, that's good.
Get more of that.
So, all right, so here's a private pressed one. This is The Second Coming by Lord. And as far as I know, this is their only record, so it's called The Second Coming. But I'll go ahead and needle drop this one. I can always pull out something else if necessary. I thought Lord was the guy. Oh, yeah, Guy Lord. It says lead vocalist. And interestingly, he's the only one who doesn't have a picture on here. Probably because he's on the front. But that's Lord. So, let's see how this record is. It's actually really good. I can tell you right now how it is. Not the greatest thing ever, but it's a cool record. Has a little bit of a Doors vibe, if I remember correctly. But I may not, because it's been a while since I played this. This promises. Alright, so I'll put that off to the side. Moving on. London. I feel like I talked about this one before. Yeah, I was right about the Jim Morrison or Doors vibe. You hear that? It's definitely not like a standard like 80s metal singer, Alright, so London was kind of the LA band that never went anywhere, but everyone passed through on the way there. So, I think the only person of any stature on this is Nadir DePriest, who aside from having a funny name isn't really someone I have a whole shitload of use for. Kim Fowley Productions, that really tells you right there that's kind of a bullshit record. Blackie Lawless has a songwriting credit on one of the songs on here too. But other than that, there's a whole lot of evidence of like Nikki Sixx and whoever else was in this band at one time or another supposedly. So, I don't know, it is what it is. Talked about this one, a really early one. This is the first Lizzie Borden EP, Give 'Em the Axe, and this is an early Metal Blade. It's a 4-song EP. Long Live Rock and Roll is a cover on it, which they do reverently but not greatly. The other 3 songs are probably better. And yeah, it's a great record. I mean, Lizzie Borden's awesome. I probably should have more records by them, but I don't. Looking ahead here. Alright. This is an early press of the first Living Death record, Vengeance of Hell. It's a Mausoleum. You can see a little water damage there too, but it's a Mausoleum. A really funny looking singer once again. And some good song titles like Heavy Metal Hurricane. This is pretty much, except maybe for Sodom, this band is about as gritty as the German thrash metal got in the mid-80s. I think this is like 85, this record. 84. So, yeah, these guys are really pretty dirty, pretty rough, noisy as this style goes. They weren't as sort of technically proficient as like Destruction or some of the other German thrash bands. Alright, as is probably obvious from the cover, there's a little more of a glam one. That's Liquid Mirror, kicked out of Fantasy. And I think this has been shown in the VC before, but I haven't shown it. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think this is a private press. Atomic Records. And I don't really remember this one all that well, except that it was glammy and really good. In fact, I needle drop. There's something else coming soon. I'll let Lord run. So anyway, Liquid Mirror. This was actually a new wave British heavy metal record, or a band. They made a couple of singles, and then this record came out overseas, and over here is Ashes to Ashes, if I'm not mistaken. Although it's Mausoleum. I think maybe it was Neat even who put it out as a self-titled. Now when Mausoleum licensed it, they put it out as Ashes to Ashes. Limelight wasn't the greatest new wave British heavy metal band. I actually thought their singles were kind of boring. But this is a pretty decent album. Like, as far as the full length, I think the thing hangs together. And it has a pretty consistent sort of, you know, not quite bikerish like the way some of that shit could sound bikerish, but sort of leaning in that direction, sort of towards that end of the spectrum of this kind of early metal sound. And I don't remember when this record came out. I know the band was early, but I want to say the record is 84-ish. Nah, I don't see. So anyway, that's the Limelight record, which is pretty good. So up next is another Black Dragon. It's the first Liege Lord. Now I gotta say, Liege Lord is one of those bands that, relative to how they're looked upon by the European collectors, this Lord record's pretty rockin', by the way, isn't it? I can totally hang with it. It's not the greatest thing ever, but it's perfectly enjoyable. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, you know, this band has been really highly regarded by some people. I kind of think they're a little bit boring, to tell you the truth. I think the sound is good, I think the band hangs together, but I just don't think the songwriting is all that. And so, this is the Black Dragon press. I did have an opportunity to get an Azra at one point, but I passed on it because it was more than I wanted to spend, and I just don't think they're all that great. This is a cool record, though. It's worth giving a listen to. There's the Black Dragon logo. It's definitely, in terms of intent, if not in total execution, it wants to be like that kind of, you know, the kind of galloping, like Manowar, Iron Maiden kind of metal. And it's okay. You know what? I've had this record for probably 10, 15 years now. Every time I put it on, it starts off, I feel like, oh my god, I didn't give this record its due. This is really good. And then as it goes, I just kind of lose interest in it. And I go, oh, this is actually, I wasn't crazy about it. So, that's it. Now this one I want a needle drop. This is another really old sounding one. This is Lester Maddox. And the album is Gothic Lore. With some great album art there. And where are these guys from? Columbus, Ohio. I thought it was Ohio. I don't think a band from the South would call themselves that, let alone Georgia. So let's fire that one up so you can give it a listen. That's a really cool sort of, that's a really hard rocky one compared to a lot of these. It's not as much straight metal, even though it's not all that early. Yeah, this is 86. So, that's another private pressing. Look, they saved money by printing on only one side of the inner sleeve. But you have the lyrics, you can sing along. That's what's important. But yeah, there's the label. DRD Records. And let me start this up. Where did I put the marks on this? Hear the darkness of that production there? It's like the execution is metal, but the writing is really kind of hard rock. And that singer isn't the most confident guy that ever walked the face of the earth either, is he? I'll let that run for a minute. So here we go. This is Legion of Death. These guys are actually from Cleveland. I kind of want to needle drop this one too because it's really good. But yeah, let's see if we have time though because the next band is really good too. This is anyway. It's another Private Press, '86, and it's just a really solid rocker, is what it is. It looks glammier than it is. It has a little bit of that kind of spirit going on though. But it's a cool record. I'm going to put it there. Next is the Legends section, which is Legend from Jersey. This is actually the last one. This is the limited 4-track single. This is the first one I got. This is probably the least metal out of the lot. This one is probably the most like. This is probably the one that's best represents them in a way. In that the EP that I just showed has a lot of prog stuff going on. This one's proggy too, but this one's still metal. The EP loses some of the metal, and this is the first one, the self-titled one. And this one, it definitely still has some prog shit going on, but it's kind of more metal. So this is kind of right in the middle of it. This band, their singer, like maybe 3 or 4 other metal bands, sounds a hell of a lot like Art Garfunkel to me. It's weird. It's like there's a subgenre of metal where like singers sound like Art Garfunkel. And I would put Ashbury in that category, and I would put Apocalypse in that category, actually. It was another new wave British heavy metal band. So, yeah, so let me put these aside. These guys are pretty proggy, though. Definitely worth a listen. They're very cool. In fact, shit, I really want to needle drop it for a minute, but I know that the song we're going to play off this is a really long instrumental intro. So I'll let it go. Alright, because we're going to do, here's Leather Wolf. This is their first EP. These guys had at least one full length after this on Tropical Records, but does have the Enigma logo, so not like totally obscure private shit. It's a pretty cool record though, but not as cool as what's coming up. But this is the one that Legend lost out to. Because I'm gonna needle drop this. This is from Florida. This is the Leather Nunn record, Take the Night. And this is definitely kind of a classic, so we're going to give that one a listen right now. I'm going to put away Lester Maddox because I think you got the idea. So, put that there. So these guys were from Jacksonville. And this is a pretty sought after record too, so there's the back. And there's the label too, on Key Records, which is just their own private label. So nothing to it. So let's fire this bad boy up. I might actually bump it ahead to the second song. Their signature song, Leather Nunn, is my favorite on this record. Yeah, pretty simple art there. I like the guy's name is Jungle Jim Mame. I always thought that was funny. Wade Williams kind of has a little bit of Dio thing going on. Part of why I like Leather Nunn so much is that they're to me the epitome of a band that writes glam but plays like really heavy and brings that shit together in a perfect way. When that happens, that's like some of the best music to me. This Fool's Way Out. This is the first song on the record. I don't let this go. Now, this is one of my favorite records ever. Alright, next up is, we're getting pretty close to the end here. I'm trying to keep this video a little shorter. This is Out in the Wasteland by Leader. And this is almost a straight thrash thing. This is actually a Dutch band. It's also Private Press on Top Hole, whatever that is. This is from '88. And I actually haven't played this one in a long time, but it's a really good record, just pretty much a solid thrash record. And, you know, like I said, from the Netherlands, there aren't a whole shitload of those. And finally, another one that actually I got cheap, and I don't remember too well, but I do remember liking it. This is the Swedish, I believe, band Lizzie. Yeah, which means I should probably listen to it again on Mill Records, whoever the hell that is. Anyway, you don't want to confuse these with the Japanese Lazy that made the great Earth Arc record. I'll let Greeno talk about this one now. Yeah, this is a really cool record. Yeah, I love this song. So I'm going to bump this ahead for just 1 second, then we're going to kill it. Alright, this is Leather Nunn, the song. I missed the groove, but... It's like the simplest chorus ever, and I think it's fucking perfect. I love this record, man. This got a reissue a couple of years ago, so it's gotten a lot easier to find. The reissue went fast, but if you can grab one, do it. It's fucking, there's nothing better than Leather Nunn, man. Yeah, it's funny. I really wanted to freak out on the Legend records and probably needle drop them and shit, but I just can't compare them to this, so... Anyway, thanks for watching. That's going to do it for now. Talk to you soon.